Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Pico, president of the Chamber, and I'm spending a few minutes with each of the candidates running for our Chamber Board of Directors this year. And we're recording these so that you can all get to know the candidates that are running for our board. Just a reminder that annually our members have the opportunity to elect 3 people to the Chamber's 18-person board, and then our existing board elects 3 more members from the remaining pool of candidates. So we have 6 new board members each year. The first phase of our election, where members will vote, will run through October 20th. And remember that each business or nonprofit member gets just 1 ballot to vote for 3 candidates. So today I am joined by board candidate Jake Miller with First National Bank. Jake, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today.
Thanks, Tom.
Absolutely. So let's start with, you personally. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live and your family, and that type of thing. So
Sure. I'm a local boy. I was born in Rockland and graduated from Camden Rockport High School. I currently live in Tenants Harbor. I'm married to my wife, Laura, for 20 years, and we have 4 sons, 2 of which have graduated from Oceanside High School. One's up at Husson, just starting his freshman year. Another one that's a junior at Oceanside. And then our youngest son is in 7th grade at the St. George School.
That's great. That's great. So I mentioned your First National Bank, and I think, a lot of people know you from that role too, but tell us a little bit more about, your title, what you do with the bank, and that type of thing. So.
Sure. Thank you. My title is Vice President, Senior Business Development Officer, and I'm responsible for covering the southern portion of Knox County. So I primarily work in the greater Rockland region, covering down to Warren, up to Union, and partner with my peers that work on the northern side of Knox County as well. So
St. George Peninsula, right?
St. George Peninsula, absolutely. I've been with the bank for almost 23 years in a variety of capacities. I started off at MBNA, which was acquired by Bank of America, and I had moved from card services into retail banking and became the branch manager at the Bank of America branch in Rockland. I worked there for 6 years, and then in 2012, the branch was sold to First National Bank as part of a larger acquisition, and been here ever since. Since I've been at First National Bank, I came over as a branch manager, managing our Union Street branch, and then was managing both of our branches in Rockland. And then in 2017, I was promoted to Senior Business Development Officer, covering Knox County at that time.
But kept the same office all these years, right? So.
Kept the same office all these years. So yeah, I stayed, everybody else left. So
that's right. Good deal. So you're very active in the community beyond your role at First National Bank, or in some cases in conjunction with your role at First National Bank. So can you talk a little bit about your community involvement, boards that you serve on, or do or have served on, and other ways that you get involved in the community? So.
Sure. Yeah, happy to do it. First National Bank really allows me, as part of my job, to be as involved with the community as I want to be, and really believes that, we should be involved, and happy to do it. So I have just wrapped up a 7-year term on the Rockland Main Street Board, whereas I had served as board president for 4 years. And arguably probably the most challenging 4 years of the organization, with having to hire a new executive director and thriving through a pandemic. That was great work, and there were several committees that I participated on while I was on that board. I also, during that time, was the vice president and then became the president of the St. George Business Alliance, which I am still serving as president of that board of directors. And committee work that I do with them as well. I'm also a member of the Pinqua Steering Committee for Knox County. I've recently signed on the AIO board, and I'm now running for this board, as well as have been participating as on the membership committee for the chamber since last winter.
Mm-hmm. Great. And when do you sleep? Right. So.
Well, really strategic about this, and I have been asked to join other boards, and I've really methodical about how I do this, and making sure that I what I agree to, I'm able to dive in head first and give 100% commitment to.
Mhm. So what really has then, just transitioning to the chamber then with our conversation, you've made a conscious decision to want to put yourself out there as a candidate for the chamber board. So what is it, what is it that motivates you to want to be part of the leadership of the chamber? What do you see that are, that the chamber does for the community, or are there ways that, you want to be a part of that? So.
Thanks, Tom. I've been really active with the chamber. Not so much, I mean, the committee works since this past winter, but every month I attend the monthly business after hours. The bank is very active in sponsoring chamber events, such as golf tournaments or tourism summits, breakfasts, things like that. As you mentioned, many a times having a chamber membership is like having a gym membership. If you go to the gym and you work out, or if you attend the meetings, then you're going to make the most of your membership. And I really feel that that's something that I've done through the years. So I consider myself to be an advocate of the chamber. When our bank, or when Rockland Main Street hosted business after hours events, our mission was to try to invite everybody that we could to those events to learn about the bank or learn about Rockland Main Street. But in addition to that, there's always a few people that aren't familiar with the chamber that come and they learn about the chamber. So I like to think that through the years, I might have tossed some new members by the way of the chamber, just by being involved in doing what is done. I think the team at the chamber does a great job. I think the board, being people that are business owners or work for nonprofits, everybody's got a vested interest in making this thing work. And I'm excited to be part of that.
That's great. So what do you, when you think about, potentially becoming a member of the board, are there, things that, what do you bring to the table, or what types of things do you think that we can, do to grow and expand the mission of, or the work of the chamber, really to, continue to thrive and help businesses here locally?
Sure. I think that the biggest things that stand out in my mind are continuing to utilize, and all of us can do this. This isn't just a Jake Miller thing. Anybody that's running, has a connection. They have a networking group that they work within, and so trying to utilize our contacts and the people that we interact with on a regular basis to try to partner together and move whatever the needs are of the business community forward. And we could say that there's been a lot of different needs since the start of the pandemic. And that's just pandemic focus, let alone once we get on the backside of the pandemic.
Mhm.
I'm really interested in workforce housing. I'm really interested in the workforce shortage,
Mhm.
and trying to get creative and figuring out ways that we can make that better and easier to attract workers to this area, to see if there's ways that we can provide housing for them, to really get creative behind that. One thing that came up on the membership committee meeting several months ago was talking with the group about how do we reach out to people that were members that did not renew. And for some people, given that the pandemic may have really hurt their business or their nonprofit, it may not have been feasible for them to be able to spend the normal membership dues on the chamber. So an idea that I brought forward, and I think that there was people liked, but we just haven't had enough time to really develop it, was kind of a pay it forward situation, where if we have somebody that we know has been a longstanding involved member of the chamber, but is telling us when we do reach out, I'm sorry, I can't do this year. I don't have it in my budget to do it. Having people, when they renew their membership, have an option to pay an extra $5 or $10 towards their membership that could be used for a pay it forward membership, to try to get back some members, even if it's only ends up being one or two that are not renewing because it's not in their budget, or they just can't feel like they want to spend that kind of money.
Sure.
But we feel like would be a really great member to have and help promote their business.
Right. Oh, that's a great idea. As we've talked about before, we'd love to do that. So, Well, before we wrap up, any other closing thoughts that you want to share with chamber members?
It's a great board and it's a great group of members that are there, over 800 members. I think that we do some really neat things here in the Mid-Coast, and I look forward to learning. If I'm lucky enough to be elected, I look forward to learning from all of those around me and hopefully sharing a few good ideas as well, and working together to try to accomplish some great things here.
Super. Jake Miller from First National Bank, thank you for your willingness to serve and for spending a few minutes with me today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Tom.